всего мне бы хотелось представить слово представителям Соединенных Штатов Америки. Это Алан Готлиб, президент Международной Ассоциации по защите гражданских прав на оружие, основатель Фонда Второй поправки США и председатель гражданского комитета за право граждан на хранение и ношение оружия. И Джулиана Версни, одна из основателей Международной Ассоциации по защите гражданских прав на оружие, исполнительный директор Фонда Второй поправки США, ответственный за взаимодействие с иностранными организациями Евросоюза и ООН. Уважаемые друзья, все вопросы докладчикам мы будем с вами задавать в конце мероприятия. Пожалуйста.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you, Right to Keep Bear Arms of Russia, for hosting this important event and allowing me to participate as a conference participant. It's an honor and a privilege for me to be here at such a distinguished company. Most of my speaking engagements are usually before uncommitted groups or skeptical audiences, as well as very hostile media in the United States. So for me, this is going to be a fun experience. That does not mean that you're not going to be a hard audience. I can't lecture you on the importance of our right to keep and bear arms because you already know that or you wouldn't be here. And I can't lecture you on the importance of being involved because if you weren't involved already, you wouldn't be here. And I can't go over the history of the past attacks on our rights because you didn't know them as well as I do. But I can talk to you about the need to globally work together to protect our human rights of justified self-defense, protecting civilian arms from draconian regulations. Events over the past decade have emphasized the need to protect the individual's rights to defend oneself and one's family from grave threats, including crime, civil unrest, and terrorism. These rights are being infringed on us not just by local and national governments, but by the United Nations as well. That is why I and others in 2009 founded the International Association for the Protection of Civilian Arms Rights, IAPCAR. IAPCAR is dedicated to preserving these human rights but needs your help in the fight. We are excited to continue welcoming new organizations. There are no dues requirements, and we'd like to expend your resources in your home countries. And as we all know, international anti-gun rights groups, such as the International Action Network on Small Arms, IANZA, Amnesty International, the Areas Foundation for Peace and Human Progress, Safer World, and the Control Arms Campaign, among others, are well funded in their campaign to infringe on firearms rights. They are aided and abetted by the Small Arms Survey published by the Graduate Institute of International and Development Studies in Geneva, Switzerland. IAPCAR was formed to counter those organizations for rebutting the propaganda, misinformation, and myths about firearms that are often internationally published by these groups. In addition, IAPCAR plans to organize and help grow an international contingent of organizations in every nation on our planet to stop the international assault on our human right of self-defense. Current members include 25 groups from 17 countries on 6 continents, representing tens of millions of firearms owners concerned about civilian arms rights. IAPCAR members in attendance at this event include Right to Bear Arms of Russia, the National Association of Gun Rights of India, Lone Star Shooting Association of the USA, the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep Bear Arms from the USA, and the Second Amendment Foundation from the USA. I know that many others wanted to be here as well, but were unable to do so. I would like to extend a personal invitation to all the other organizations that are represented here that are not members of IAPCAR to join as well. Guns save many American lives in the USA every day. While the exact number of defensive gun use is nearly impossible to calculate because most are not reported, studies have suggested the number ranges from a few 100,000 to over 3 million per year. A groundbreaking 1995 study by Dr. Gary Klepp of Florida State University estimated the number to be over 2.5 million annually. This research was confirmed a year later by the Police Foundation and the National Institute of Justice Study funded. The studies were done in the mid-1990s, at that time, during which defensive gun carry was more limited than it is today. since 1990, the number of shall issue concealed carry permit states has increased from 16 to 41, and there are more on the way. With more Americans lawfully carrying guns, it can be reasonably assumed that these guns are being used more often in self-defense. Our daily estimate of 2,191 is based on a very conservative number of 800,000 defensive uses a year. That is less than 1/3 of the number from Gary Fleck's study. Based on that estimate, and most other studies on the topic, well over 2,191 Americans use guns for defensive purposes every day in the U.S. That means 2,191 Americans were able to prevent a crime that possibly saved their lives just today because they had a gun. The only conclusion that can be rationally reached is that guns save tens of thousands of lives every year. In the United States, we have declared Sunday, December 15th, as Guns Save Lives Day, and we'll have over 200 organizations participating in pro-firearms civil rights activities. That day just also happens to be the anniversary of the ratification of our Bill of Rights. In closing, the right to keep their arms and the right of self-defense should not have any international boundaries or borders. They are fundamental human rights. Any attack on one of those rights anywhere is an attack on our rights everywhere. I look forward to working with all of you for the legalization of the right to carry for self-protection here in Russia. And I hope to work with you in the coming years to make that achievement reality. Thank you.